Fictional entertainment story. Jungkook reveals BTS is considering a Grammy boycott, a decision that shakes the music world. Disclaimer: the following is a fictional entertainment story created for creative purposes. It does not describe real events or statements by BTS or Jungkook. The global music industry was thrown into turmoil when an unexpected statement, allegedly delivered by Jungkook, sparked a wave of discussion unlike anything fans had witnessed in recent years. In this fictional scenario, whispers began spreading across social media that BTS was seriously considering boycotting the 2027 Grammy Awards. Within hours, hashtags surged worldwide. Online forums exploded with theories, and millions of fans questioned what could have driven one of the world's biggest music groups towards such a historic decision. According to this fictional narrative, the announcement was neither loud nor aggressive. Instead, it carried the calm confidence that has often defined BTS throughout their career. Jungkook was imagined as explaining that every artist eventually reaches a moment where they must evaluate what success truly means. Is it measured by trophies and ceremonies, or by the lasting connection with fans who have stood beside them through every triumph and hardship? The statement immediately became the center of worldwide debate. Supporters praised the fictional decision as a bold stand for artistic freedom, while others wondered whether turning away from one of music's most prestigious award shows would create an unnecessary controversy. Yet regardless of opinion, everyone agreed that if BTS ever made such a move, it would forever reshape conversations about recognition, legacy, and the meaning of global success. As the fictional story unfolded, entertainment analysts speculated about years of pressure placed upon international artists competing within the Western music industry. BTS had already broken countless records, sold out stadiums across continents, and inspired millions through their music. Their influence stretched far beyond charts and awards, reaching audiences from every culture and generation. Many imagined that perhaps the members had reached a point where external validation no longer defined their achievements. Within this fictional world, Jungkook reflected on the emotional journey BTS had experienced together. Every performance, every rehearsal, every sleepless night in the studio had been driven not by the dream of winning awards, but by the desire to create music capable of comforting, inspiring, and connecting people. Awards, while meaningful, were never the destination. They were simply milestones along a much larger road. The imagined revelation resonated deeply with ARMY around the globe. Fans recalled countless moments when BTS emphasized sincerity over status. They remembered speeches about believing in oneself, embracing imperfections, and pursuing dreams despite overwhelming obstacles. In this fictional scenario, many supporters argued that a Grammy boycott would not represent anger, but rather confidence. The confidence to define success according to their own values instead of industry expectations. Meanwhile, the fictional entertainment industry reacted with astonishment. Television commentators debated what such a decision might mean for future award ceremonies. Journalists speculated whether other international artists might begin questioning traditional systems of recognition. Record executives privately wondered whether ceremonies themselves would need to evolve to remain culturally relevant in an increasingly global music landscape. Social media became a battlefield of opinions. Some users applauded the imagined courage behind the decision, describing BTS as artists willing to challenge conventions. Others insisted that prestigious awards still carried significant value and should never be dismissed. Every new discussion generated millions of interactions, making the fictional controversy one of the biggest entertainment stories of the year. Throughout the imagined controversy, Jungkook remained calm. Rather than fueling endless speculation, he encouraged fans to focus on music instead of conflict. He reminded everyone that artists should never lose sight of why they began creating songs in the first place. Music had always been about emotions, memories, healing, and human connection. Everything else, while important, remained secondary. This fictional perspective transformed the conversation. Instead of asking whether BTS should attend a ceremony, people began asking a deeper question. What is the true purpose of recognition in art? Does an artist require institutional approval after already earning the unwavering support of millions worldwide? Or does genuine impact ultimately speak louder than any trophy? Industry observers imagined that even competing artists watched the situation carefully. Some admired the hypothetical courage of challenging established traditions, while others viewed it as a reminder that the global music industry continues to evolve. International audiences today possess more influence than ever before, often determining an artist's legacy independently of award ceremonies. The fictional climax arrived when Jungkook addressed fans once more. Rather than encouraging division, he emphasized gratitude. Every accomplishment BTS had achieved belonged not only to the 7 members, but also to the millions of ARMY who had believed in them since the beginning. Whether standing on an awards stage or performing before thousands of cheering fans, their greatest achievement would always remain the same: creating music that transcended language and united people around the world. That heartfelt message became the emotional center of the fictional story. It reminded audiences that history is rarely defined by ceremonies alone. Instead, history remembers artists who inspire change, challenge expectations, and remain authentic despite enormous pressure. In this imagined world, the Grammy boycott itself became less significant than the conversation it inspired. Fans, critics, and industry leaders alike found themselves reconsidering long-held assumptions about success, prestige, and artistic independence. BTS's fictional decision served as a catalyst for broader discussions about fairness, globalization, and the evolving relationship between artists and institutions. Ultimately, whether one supported or questioned the hypothetical boycott, everyone acknowledged one undeniable truth within this fictional narrative. BTS had already transformed the global music landscape in ways few artists ever achieve. Awards could recognize milestones, but they could never fully measure cultural impact, emotional influence, or the bond between musicians and their audience. As the story reached its conclusion, the message remained clear. The greatest legacy is not built by trophies displayed on shelves, but by lives touched through music, hope, and inspiration. In this fictional account, Jungkook's imagined words echoed far beyond a single award ceremony, reminding fans everywhere that authenticity, unity, and purpose are the achievements that endure long after applause fades. The fictional announcement continued to dominate entertainment headlines for days. Television programs invited music critics, cultural commentators, and industry analysts to discuss what such a symbolic decision could mean for the future of global music. While opinions differed, nearly everyone agreed on one point. If an artist of BTS's influence ever chose to step away from one of the industry's biggest stages, the conversation would extend far beyond a single awards ceremony. Inside this fictional narrative, countless fans reflected on the extraordinary journey BTS had taken over the years. They remembered humble debut stages, relentless practice sessions, emotional documentaries, and unforgettable stadium performances attended by hundreds of thousands of people. Every chapter of their career had been built on perseverance rather than shortcuts. That history made the imagined decision feel even more meaningful, not because it rejected recognition, but because it emphasized the values that had guided the group from the very beginning. Jungkook, portrayed in this fictional story as the calm voice amid the growing debate, encouraged everyone to avoid hostility. He reminded supporters that music should unite people rather than divide them. According to the fictional account, he explained that every award ceremony plays an important role in celebrating creativity, but artists also have the right to define their own priorities. Those words resonated deeply across social media, where many fans began sharing messages about self-belief, artistic integrity, and gratitude. Meanwhile, the fictional members of BTS stood together behind closed doors, discussing not only their future performances but also the legacy they hoped to leave for younger musicians. They imagined a future where artists from every country could compete on equal footing, judged solely by the quality of their music instead of language or geography. Whether or not such change could happen overnight remained uncertain, but the discussion itself inspired hope among emerging performers around the world. The fictional ripple effect reached beyond the music industry. Universities hosted conversations about globalization in entertainment. Podcasts explored how international artists had reshaped cultural boundaries. Journalists revisited BTS's historic achievements, recognizing how the group's influence had opened doors for countless performers from Asia and beyond. In this imagined world, the debate had evolved into something much larger than one ceremony. It had become a reflection on how culture continues to evolve in an increasingly connected world. As weeks passed in the fictional timeline, anticipation shifted toward BTS's next musical release. Fans realized that, regardless of awards or public debates, what mattered most was the music itself. Teasers, studio photos, and behind-the-scenes glimpses reignited excitement. The controversy gradually gave way to renewed focus on creativity, reminding everyone why millions had fallen in love with BTS in the first place. The fictional story reached an emotional closing chapter when Jungkook addressed fans during a concert. Standing beneath dazzling lights before a sea of glowing light sticks, he thanked ARMY for standing beside the group through every joyful and challenging moment. He spoke about dreams that once seemed impossible, about friendships forged through music, and about the responsibility that comes with inspiring people across generations. The audience responded with thunderous applause that echoed throughout the stadium. In that fictional moment, the loudest message was not about awards, headlines, or controversy. It was about trust between artists and fans, a relationship built over years of shared memories, unforgettable performances, and songs that had become the soundtrack to countless lives. As the lights dimmed and the final notes faded into the night, the fictional narrative left readers with a lasting reminder. While awards can celebrate excellence, the true measure of an artist's legacy lies in the people they inspire. In this imagined world, BTS's greatest achievement was never a trophy on a shelf, but the millions of hearts their music had reached across the globe.